Okay, guys, a very good evening, each and every one of you. So today's live session will have subject based, okay? And also, I'm going to share some very interesting information, which is being, it's a kind of buzz right now in general news as well as in social media, which is related to our profession. Please confirm the streaming quality so that we can proceed with our live session accordingly. Please confirm the audio and video streaming quality, okay? Good evening. Namaste. Yeah, right now I've just reached International Space Station and I'm doing a live session right from there. There is a balcony, and after this session, Russian and American astronauts are going to arrange dinner for me. It's open air kind of a cool breeze all over. It's wonderful experience here. You should come and experience it. The next live session, I'll definitely invite you guys. So definitely, okay. So take my word. Okay, all good? Fantastic. So, first and foremost, a very good evening once again, each and every one of you. So, how is everything going on? Yesterday's live session, we discussed some questions, general text based, image based, subject wise questions, and so on. And also, in the process of reviewing those questions, we have reviewed some relevant literature as well. So, we'll try to follow that format. I hope you guys are ready. So, we have 5 questions in this session, and I'm sure you're going to answer all of them correctly. Okay, even if it's wrong, that's fine because we're all at different stages of learning, isn't it? So let's start with our presentation now, and here you go. Wonderful. It's good to hear that you're awesome as always. And one of you are asking about age, and one of you are asking whether you're tensed or not. I'm tensed, and by the way, I'm sweet 16 as discussed in the comment section. So first and foremost, let's start with this question. The tip of periodontal probe remains within junctional epithelium when the probing force is less than 30 grams, less than 50 grams, less than 80 grams, less than 100 grams. So which one do you think is a more appropriate answer? Background is too good. Okay, that's good to hear because I'm thankful to technology that we are making these things possible. By the way, when you say background, we're talking about the space background, right? Yeah. So the tip of periodontal probe remains within junctional epithelium when the probing force is. So which of the following options is more appropriate? In the meantime, let me review some literature from Karanza. So probing force is something which is very much important. And it has been shown that, as per research, forces of up to 30 grams, the tip of the probe remains within the junctional epithelium till 30 grams. And forces up to 50 grams are necessary to reach the bone level, right? So consider this very, very important. Good. 30 grams it is. So probing force, one of the main problems in reproducibility has been the variation of probing force. The development of pressure sensitive probes has helped overcome this. It has been shown that with forces of up to 30 grams, the tip of the probe remains within the junctional epithelium, whereas forces of up to 50 grams are necessary to reach the bone level. Okay. So previously it was all manual, maybe difficult, but now we have pressure sensitive probes. Good. Fantastic. Now let's move on to our next question. So these are all more or less clinical oriented questions, right? So I'm sure you guys are going to do great. The second question, pain on percussion is negative in which of the following conditions? Option A, reversible pulpitis. Option B, symptomatic irreversible pulpitis. Option C, irreversible pulpitis, asymptomatic. Option D, all of the above. Option E, none of the above. So which one do you think is a more appropriate answer? Anand says you're only doctor who never killed a child in you. Okay, thanks to reading, it really helps us to keep that child within us alive. And it's very important. It's very, very important. Yeah, good. So is it all or is it none? So some of you say it's C, D. Yeah, Monica, yes, 25 grams, 0.25 newtons, you're right. Fantastic. In fact, we have one question along those lines in our periodontic subject test as well. So I hope you've answered it right. Good. So we're talking about range here. So we said up to 30 grams. Good, Monica. So So most of you are answering it as D, all of the above. Very good. So pain on percussion is usually negative in reversible pulpitis, symptomatic irreversible pulpitis, as well as asymptomatic irreversible pulpitis. Consider this very, very important. I'll review some literature. So as you said, all of the above. So in case of reversible pulpitis, pain on percussion is negative. Radiographic features, there shows no periradicular changes, as you guys are aware of. The same holds true even in case of symptomatic irreversible pulpitis and asymptomatic irreversible pulpitis. This is very, very important, and be familiarized with the same. So this is based on various characteristic distinguishing features of pulpal diseases given in Grossman. Okay. Now let's move on to our next question. You're doing a very good job, very, very good job. Keep it up. The third question, which of the following index is not used for for assessing gingival inflammation? See, in exam, no one is going to highlight the word not. There is no commentary, right? So you should always read the question minimum twice. So which of the following index is not used for assessing gingival inflammation? Gingival index, papillary marginal gingivitis index, sulcus bleeding index, none of the above. So which one do you think is a more appropriate answer? And in the meantime, let me present you various indices used in assessing gingival inflammation. So various indices which are used for assessing gingival inflammation include papillary marginal attachment index, gingivitis component of periodontal disease index, gingival index, papillary marginal gingivitis index, modified gingival index, gingival tissue index, gingival pain index. And various indices used in assessing gingival bleeding include sulcus bleeding index, papillary bleeding index, gingival bleeding index, interdental bleeding index, gingival status index, bleeding points index, quantitative gingival bleeding index, gingival fluid flow index. So in those indices which are used for assessing gingival bleeding, there is the term gingival bleeding for sure in most of the indices. So it makes our life very easy and convenient, isn't it? So among the given options, yes. So it is option C. Sulcus bleeding index is used for assessing gingival bleeding, whereas indices used in assessing gingival inflammation include rest of the options along with those which I have read out for you. Okay, so very good. So option C is the right answer. Now let's move on to our penultimate question. So this session is happening very fast. So find the false statement. So you have various options. Caries activity test. So measures the degree to which the local environmental challenges favor the probability of caries lesions. Is it true? Option B, caries activity, increment of active lesions over a slated period of time. Option C, caries susceptibility, inherent tendency of the host to be afflicted by caries. Option D, all of the above. Option E, none of the above. I mean, when creating questions, creating option D, option E is always very convenient. Okay, so which one do you think is more appropriate answer? So if you observe the information given in Sturtevant's clearly mentions that caries activity test, it measures the degree to which the local environmental challenge favors the probability of caries lesion. So we have various caries activity tests, which we already discussed in our e-classes. You can refer PhD section of e-classes. And caries activity is increment of active lesions, which can be new or recurrent. This is very, very important, not just new. So caries activity is increment of active lesions, new or recurrent lesions over a slated period of time, a particular period of time. And caries susceptibility is inherent tendency of the host, that is the target tissue, in this case the teeth, that is the tooth, to be afflicted by the caries. So find the false statement. So all of the following are true statements. Option E is the right answer. Very good. Well done. Now let's move on to our final question. Oh no, the session is going really fast. For root canal sealers, the maximal film thickness is 25 microns, 50 microns, 100 microns, 1000 microns. So let me ask you a related question. What is the relation between microns and millimeter? How many microns equals to 1 millimeter? Do answer this question as well. Okay. Yeah. So in the meantime, try answering this question. The reason why I've incorporated this review is because there is a time lag of 20 seconds. See, I'm doing it live now, but what you're watching on YouTube is delayed by 20 seconds because of conversion from Zoom to YouTube. So in these 20 seconds, I've decided to do some literature review and also to be careful not to give you the answer so that we can cover up that lag and I can look into your answer simultaneously. Okay. So film thickness and cement thickness, both are not the same. Let's look into the difference, which we already discussed in study club previously. In the process, we'll try to find out the answer. And in the meantime, you can go ahead and answer the question. Exactly, Neha, fantastic. So 1000 microns is equal to 1 millimeter. Good. So film thickness, this property is often confused with cement thickness, as mentioned in Phillips. Standard reference. So film thickness refers to thickness of continuous cement after setting under pressure based on some standard evaluation measures. And it's clearly mentioned that film thickness, what does it indicate? Film thickness indicates the viscosity of a cement during seating. Consider this point very, very important. Okay. So the film thickness is an indication of viscosity of cement during seating, and lower film thickness implies lower viscosity. For luting applications, the maximum allowable film thickness is 25 microns as per ADS specification, as you guys are all aware of, thanks to our second BDS DM teachers. They made sure we memorize these values, okay? And remember, the size of the particles and powder liquid ratio significantly affect film thickness, which is quite obvious. For root canal sealers, here you go. The maximal film thickness is 15 microns, 50. And for comparison, the diameter of a flaxen human hair ranges between 17 and 50 microns. You might have a thick hair. Some of you might have thick hair, but we're not talking about exceptions. We're talking about normal range, 17 to 50 microns, human hair. So cement thickness, on the other hand, refers to thickness of cement between the tooth structure and the cemented cast crown, inlay, onlay, or veneer, whereas film thickness refers to thickness of continuous cement after seating under pressure. There is a difference between the two. You should understand the same. So there are various factors which affect this cement thickness. And as per Phillips, an acceptable cement thickness in the literature ranges from 25 to 120 microns. Do make a note of this range. And however, cement thickness associated with resin cements is greater, can exceed 150 microns. Okay, so this is some related information. So what's the right answer? 25 microns? I hope you got the answer right. Okay. Or do you want me to review the answer once again? It's up to you. So root canal sealers, the maximum film thickness is 50 microns. As per ADS specification, normal film thickness, ideal film thickness should be 25 microns. That is acceptable. So just keep that in mind. Good. Okay, now let's move on to the final aspect of this presentation. In fact, I have come across this news very recently, I mean a few hours ago. And one of the students, Sanjana, has posted a reference article, PubMed indexed article in regard to that news, which really helped me to search and get more information. So Sanjana, thank you. In fact, it's a coincidence. I was actually planning to present something about that topic, and it's a coincidence that even you sent a mail with reference article, which is very impressive. Always rely on standard references. That's very, very important. So here is the news. Tuberial salivary glands discovered. New human organs discovered. That was the title in one of the news outlets. So scientists accidentally discover new organ in human throat. So this is something which is very significant from dental perspective. It's major salivary glands. So you have another aspect to remember, right? So they're mentioned to be a major. Let's review some literature. So scientists accidentally discover new organ in human throat while studying prostate cancer and examining a new combination of CT, PET scans. Researchers at Netherlands Cancer Institute discovered a new set of salivary glands about 3.81 centimeters in length in human throat. 3.81 centimeters. The new glands, named tuberial salivary glands, as you can see in the slide, are believed to lubricate and moisten the area of throat behind the nose and mouth. maybe it's a new thing for a general public, but as dentists, I'm sure we all know the functions of salivary glands, right? Okay, so let me review some interest. Exactly. Let me review some additional information which Sanjana has mailed me personally. So it's a PubMed indexed article. It's available for everyone. It's a free article. Tuberial salivary glands, a potential new organ at risk for radiotherapy. So this is something which I've come across. So let me review some literature related to this. So in conclusion of that article, the authors mentioned that the human body contains a pair of previously overlooked and clinically relevant macroscopic salivary gland locations for which we propose the name tuberial glands. So these are maybe macroscopic salivary glands, and they are named as tuberial because, as you can see in the following slide, they are located in the area of torus tuberius, right? So they mentioned that in the article, predominantly mucous glands with multiple draining exits, predominantly near the torus tuberius, are found. And what is this torus tuberius? As you can see, marked in red, it is torus tuberius. You can see some soft tissue elevation in the lateral aspect of the nose. Let's review some literature about the same. So torus tuberius is a mucosal elevation in lateral aspect of nasopharynx, as you can see, which is formed by underlying pharyngeal end of cartilaginous portion of eustachian tube. Okay, so tuberial salivary gland. So we can definitely expect the coming of editions of oral histology textbooks and other textbooks incorporating this, hopefully. Okay, so I think further studies have to be done. So anyways, so the human body contains a pair of previously overlooked and clinically relevant macroscopic salivary gland locations for which the authors propose the name tuberial glands. Okay, Matthias Wallster, the name of the author, and et al. Okay, so this is some interesting information which I found, and I hope is interesting to you as well, right? Yeah. So I sincerely hope that all of you are brushing your teeth at least once a day. Leave about twice a day. Let's do it, but at least once a day. Please raise your hands if you're brushing at least once a day. I'm brushing my teeth at least once a day. Okay, if you're not brushing at least once a day, please do it. As you're at home, there is a tendency to overlook into this, right? So when we were conducting online classes for our students, previously I asked them to switch on friend counts, but later I realized that what if they're not brushing their teeth? It's not a good sign, to look into their faces when they're not brushing their teeth. Okay, I'm just kidding, right? So this is what I wanted to highlight, guys, and I hope the session was very informative. I mean, informative, you should say whether it is very informative or less informative. Your feedback is always welcome, right? So in the process, I hope you made some notes related to literature which we reviewed, and you need any further clarification, you need any further guidance, you're more than welcome to get back through mail at proudtobedentist@gmail.com 24/7. And I sincerely request you all to give me at least 24 to 48 hours to address all your queries or concerns. If it's an emergency, I'll try to reply as soon as possible. Okay. So no one is going to ask me my age. Recently, I had my birthday, so I turned sweet 16. So subscriber, I don't know what your name is. You think you're asking Abhijit about his age? No. Why don't you ask me my age? Exactly, Priya. Yeah, Sanjana. Sanjana is online. Sanjana, I was just mentioning about you, and thank you for sharing that link, PubMed indexed article. And also for your convenience, I'll be sharing that link in the description part of the video. It's a free article. Okay. Right. So anything else you would like to share? So who is going to join me for dinner? Astronauts and cosmonauts, and they're calling me for dinner. So I have to go join them. We have a Russian cosmonaut, Toffee, and American astronaut Tiger waiting for me to address their needs. A belated happy birthday to me. Thank you so much. And you might be having your birthday sometime in the year. So belated happy birthday to you as well. And advanced happy birthday for the next year. Okay. Okay, guys. Okay. And really appreciate your feedback. And I'll definitely try to incorporate as many sessions as possible. In fact, I've been going through, as everyone else, there is no exception. I've been going through tremendous personal challenges. It's been very painful, and there was some bad news happening in my family right now as I'm speaking. There was an accident. My father had an accident, and he had a fracture. So his not tibia, femur was fractured at the level of head, and they're talking about complete hip replacement. So it's going to be a major surgery. So it's very challenging, personally speaking. No matter how much we read, how much we try to analyze the situation, when something happens to our loved ones, it's definitely a huge challenge. But I somehow am trying to manage to overcome all these personal challenges and try to do business as usual. This is business as usual. And my sincere request to each and every one of you, no matter what happens, always remember, just make sure that you're clear in your mind. When you're clear in your mind, no matter what happens extrinsically, your mind, your life will take care of yourself. You will take care of yourself. And what you choose, how you would like to choose, what you would like to think, what you would like to take, positive or negative, you have a choice. I have a choice. We all have a choice, right? So let me conclude with this, and I hope everything goes well. In my case, in your case, in everyone's case, let's hope for the best and let's try to give our best each and every moment. And uh, the reason why I've been conducting these live sessions or interactions as usual is because this is something which gives me enormous amounts of pleasure. This is actually which distracts me from other things, other personal things. And I realize that each time I conduct a session, it can be a study club, it can be a recorded video, it can be a live session. Each moment is a joyous experience for me. And I'm literally trying to translate that into my normal life as well. And if we can be joyous in each and every moment of our life, just imagine how it's going to be. I mean, not joyous just on day of birthday. What if I say every day is special? Birthdays are very special. We feel very pumped up, excited. Everyone keeps wishing us. Maybe it's because of extrinsic factors, but what if every day is special? What if we perceive it that way? That's something which I would like to definitely discuss, and that's one of my favorite topics. Right? So, anyways, wish you all the best. Love you all. Good night and take care. And regarding the upcoming session, I'll let you know, depending upon the time availability and all, I'll let you know. Tomorrow's 5 a.m. session, the topics and the poll will be scheduled, and you'll have your 5 a.m. study club sessions as usual. We'll take care of that. Okay. And also debate session, the upcoming debate session. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Take care, guys. I love you all.